YouTube, how's it going? Good morning, Capt DirtyBeard here, back at you with another clip today. It's still a little early, I got my coffee. And we're just gonna dive right into it today. I mean, CDL season is well underway. We just wrapped up the second major. We had some very big surprises. We had some really big letdowns. We had some stuff nobody saw coming. We had the Cinderella story of the season, I think. Lots of stuff went down over this past weekend, and we're going to dive right into it. Myself and Jackademus, we're going to be ranking all the CDL teams based on their performance in the second major. Not the first stage, not the second stage, not the first major. None of that even counts. We're looking at only purely the tournament over the weekend where all the money was on the line. Once again, thank you everybody for coming and checking out the videos. If you like what you're seeing, make sure to hit the like button down below. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. It goes a really long way and help build this community. If you want to catch us live, we stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday over on Twitch, link right in the description below. And until the next time, stay happy, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one. But anyway, we are here for one reason, and that is Call of Duty. 2021 CDL is underway. We just finished up the second major, and we had a lot of surprises. A lot of surprises.
A lot is an understatement.
I gotta switch up my screen here so I can actually do the
Some
tier
roster
list.
Change-ups.
The roster change-ups right before the major, which very unheard of, very taboo, some might say.
It's not against the rules, but I think it should be.
I don't think it should be. Because
I think there should be some kind of standard towards it, because
there's
anybody could do it, and then you could just bring in anybody you wanted, right? Like if somebody got dropped, say like Slasher, for example, when Methods got dropped,
yeah,
you could just pick up those two players.
Absolutely. Well, they're still signed. That's the thing. Is like Methods is still under contract with Ultra.
Yeah.
Slasher's still under contract. They're just
they can
benched.
rent them out.
Yeah, they're just benched though.
Yeah.
They're still getting paid. They're just taking a bit of a break because they needed to find a lineup that worked. Which it's like I can respect that,
big bucks.
Because when you look at sports, because this is like they're trying to run this like a league, like esports. They're trying to be like the NFL, like the MLB. They're trying to be like that.
Right.
If you got a player, like if you're coming up to the playoffs, right? Like you could be even mid playoffs, and like one of your players just isn't quite going up to par. You're going to pull him and you're going to put someone else in his place. They even do it mid game, and you got to try to adapt on the fly. Like at least these guys get a YouTube video being like, yo, Slasher's out. Here comes Hazard spelled backwards. Here comes Draza. And here we go. Like, you know what I mean? Like they gave them like almost a week to prepare for this kid.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like nobody really gets that, so that's my side of it. I think it's okay because it's like, it keeps it fresh and it worked well for them. I think they finally found a team
that's the thing, right?
that's
like,
working.
I feel like it works for others and not others. I feel like that's why some players think it's unfair, because
it's a
it
risk.
works for some teams and it doesn't work for other teams. Yeah,
absolutely. It is 100% a gamble.
Because like the way Optic is, like they're so cohesive, the four of them. If they replaced one mid-season, the whole thing would just be screwed out of whack.
Absolutely, thing would just fall apart. But that's one of those teams.
They'll crumble.
They've built a roster, right? Like they're
well, they had the dynasty too, right? And it's kind of halfway back. It's
they had the
informal.
They had the dynasty.
The dynasty.
So we got first on the list. We got FaZe. I mean, I don't think we can argue that they performed as expected.
Amazingly.
Well, sorry, not as expected, but extremely well.
Yeah. Like you can't, like as much as I can't put personal feelings into this, but as much as I don't want to, they've got to be pretty high on that list.
Absolutely. Like I think that they got to be an S tier team as far as performance in the major. It's just
they crushed it. They crushed every team. They walked over everybody.
It's like as much as I say like they weren't my pick, they're not gonna lie. Yeah. They'll probably never be my personal pick. But when it comes to how it's structured, how the team is, you can't deny Arcides, you can't deny Celium. Like some of these guys are just good. And they've been good for a long time. Man. Arcides is cracked. Arcides alone is like S tier player on his own.
Yeah.
But I think definitely for this major,
their teamwork and cohesion was definitely a win for them.
Yeah, they did good.
They were frying.
Yeah. We got the Dallas Empire. I'd even say
they were spotty.
Spotty. This season alone, they've been spotty. I think that they have not been performing as much as anyone expected, or as much as they've been like bragging almost. Like they were like
up.
which I get it. You're defending champ, you know, you got to do it. But
is Shotzi on Empire?
I think so. Yeah, I think they got Shotzi, they got Hook, they got obviously Krim, and pardon me, I can't remember the last guy.
Not me either.
I feel bad.
They definitely hyped themselves up, which I think was their downfall.
Yep.
And everybody knows, like, Krim in his own right is a tier S player in his own right.
Yeah.
He's the most winningest player of Call of Duty history.
But then when it comes down to how they performed
as a team
this weekend,
was not so good.
They got smacked around a lot by some surprising
3-0'd,
teams.
Didn't they?
Maybe 3-0, 3-1. It's one of the two.
Yeah, they underperformed a lot.
A lot. They still performed well. Like, they made it to, what was it, semifinals?
Yep.
Dallas. They made it over Minnesota. They kicked the Rocker in the losing bracket. And then they went up against FaZe. And then they lost to FaZe. And then they went up against Toronto because Toronto beat Minnesota. And then they lost to Toronto.
Crazy. Okay.
They 3-2'd Minnesota. They 3-0'd New York because New York was just pathetic this major. No offense, boys.
Yeah.
Clayster's cracked, but that was really bad. I'd probably put Dallas at a B for this tournament.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, like they had a strong opening. Like they 3-0'd New York. They went 3-2 against Minnesota, but then they lost to FaZe 3-1, and then they lost 3-1 to Toronto. So I'd say that would be
and they did well in the first stage as well. So
yeah, they did well in the first stage, but Major 2, they fell short.
Let it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd say B. I'd agree with that.
We got the Florida boys, the Mutineers.
Mutineers.
Now, if this was just a branding video, like if we're just ranking their clothes and their logo and shit, they're S tier. They're amazing. I love their stuff. The logo's badass.
Their logo's definitely the best. Yeah.
But yeah, they were in, I think they were in loser bracket to begin with. They beat the Gorillas 3-0, which is not hard, and then they got 3-1 against against Seattle.
Oh, wow.
I'd say that's a C-list performance for me.
Yeah, really. They just kind of shit the bed a little bit.
A little bit.
Because they're a good team.
They are. They underperformed.
They just underperformed. I guess the pressure of it all.
So we got...
Yeah, I would agree with that.
We have everybody's favorite, everybody's top pick, London Royal Ravens.
Oh, boy. See, that should be my team, but it's not. They definitely, we shouldn't even talk about them.
No.
Nah, poor boys. They tried their best.
They did, but like honestly, they
I don't think they was as prepared as they should have been.
No, I would put them, honestly, I have to put them in D because they didn't win no money.
They didn't win a match.
They didn't win a match.
Poor,
they didn't win no
poor
money.
Fellas.
I mean, like Florida didn't win no money either, but they at least went home with one win.
Yeah. And Ravens already was in the bottom for picks anyways, like top favorites. They were in the bottom bracket. They were just...
Oh, absolutely.
They're a good team. They're just... I don't think they were ready for the fast-paced type games that they were getting into.
Oh, no, not at all. They're great in challengers. They're really good in challengers.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So when it's like that and it's like nothing's really on the line, but when you're going into like the major and everything's high pace and like straight to it, I think they just got a little overwhelmed.
Lost 3-2 to the Thieves.
Yeah, they did.
We got the Gorillas. I think they're going to have to rack it up down there in the D tier as well. They
I think they're going to join the buddies.
They had a pretty bad showing as well.
Yeah, that was very poor on their part.
Very poor. They got 3-0'd like first match.
Oh, you hate to say it, but
yeah.
All these teams are great. They just it's the pairings that gets you, right? It's like you say, like this season got turned upside down and flipped on its head.
This season's turned around with we're not on LAN. We're online. We're getting guys that are at 70 ping while the other guys are some other teams are at like 30 ping. There's a peaker's advantage.
Yeah.
Like there's tons of stuff.
Huge.
How many matches have we seen already get restarted? that could have
people dropping out
gone alternate ways, but then certain teams ended up losing because they restarted like 3, 4, 5 games.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that could have been a winning game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, anything's a possibility.
We have the Cinderella story where like everybody's not pick, but one of our picks, the LA Thieves.
I would put them in. They changed their roster, which was a good thing for them.
It was a great thing for them because they literally they turned
the season around.
They sweeped Paris in the first match. They did a reverse sweep on London, and then they sweeped New York, and then they got swept by Toronto to get out. So it's like they had a great showing, but then Toronto stomped them.
Yeah. Their performance was great, but it doesn't reflect very well, you know?
Yeah.
I'd probably put them in A or B.
I'd put them in A. I think they performed really well for this tournament. And
especially with the quick roster change, like 2 players got replaced.
Absolutely. Venom was holding his own in a lot of those matches. Guys did not know what to think of his play style. He was playing things very differently than a lot of the guys that they're used to. So like they couldn't really map him, and I thought that was great. Draza clutched when he needed to.
Is this Venom's first pro season?
Yeah, I think it's both of their Draza and Venom. I think that's their first rookie.
Oh wow, then
season. They performed phenomenally.
Versus people who have had 13 years on them, basically. In the Pro League,
and some that have been teaming together already for at least 4 years. Pre-CDL, they were playing together during World League and shit.
Yeah.
Then we have the Beefcakes, the Minnesota Rocker.
Oh, see, they pulled it back too, you know.
It's interesting. Yeah, they pulled it back. Like they lost to Dallas, but they got bumped up. They were in second bracket already. Like they didn't have to play round 1.
Yeah.
So they came in with a good showing. They lost to Dallas, but then they beat Chicago out in a fucking such a sad game 11. Like if nobody has seen that,
man.
After this,
Please
go
go
find the clip of Optic and Minnesota, the game 11. Holy crap. Or sorry, round 11, game 5.
1v3 clutch.
1v3 clutch. Even Nate Shot himself said it. Like, you don't see that happen. Period.
The stars aligned.
It just, something happened. But nonetheless, they played very well, and then they lost to Toronto. I'd put them in an A. They played very well.
Yeah, I'll give them an A.
They've been doing pretty well, even in stage 2. They were playing very well, and we have
they were the only ones to take down FaZe.
Yes, they were. We now have one of everybody's top prospect picks going into this tournament, and flipped the entire bracket on its head when they decided to, pardon my French, shit the bed. New York Subliners. They came in with round 1 in the winner bracket against Dallas. They got 3-0'd. They then dropped into the losing bracket against LA Thieves, and then they got 3-0'd there. I think they lost 11 games back to back. They didn't win anything this whole major.
And that's crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
Because they were playing well, they just weren't getting the points that they needed.
And they were playing phenomenally during the stage, and then they got to the major, and they just couldn't win the games.
They just couldn't find the people. So they've got to be down there. They're
definitely down there. I don't want to put them in D because, like you said, they were playing well. They just didn't get it.
Yeah.
So I think they're at a high C. They're like a C+.
Yeah, because Hook is a great player on his own. Like as a rookie, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Like he was holding his own as well. They couldn't find the people and they couldn't get the matches that they needed.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, now we got our boys. Optic Chicago. Optic Gaming.
My favorites.
They were doing.
I've been watching since 2011. Yeah. So I've been watching a long time.
They were doing phenomenal. They were doing really good. Like they lost to Toronto in their first game, surprisingly.
Which is sad.
3-1, but then they 3-1 Seattle, and then they got that nasty 3-2 loss over Minnesota, which personally we were both watching. They had the win. They should have been moving on.
They should have won that. I was so visibly upset.
They were playing well too.
I instantly turned the stream off. I couldn't watch it anymore. I was that upset about it.
Oh yeah, like that. I messaged you and I'm like, and I officially don't care about the CDL, the second major anymore until Toronto made us care. But we'll get to that at the end of the list. They played amazing.
They had a couple rocky starts.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's tough because they lost their first match.
Yeah. Like Formal had a bunch of good clutches. They played well. It's not like they didn't play great.
Yeah, like I'd put them at like a low A or a high B probably.
Yeah, I agree with that. It pains me, but yeah.
Yeah, right? Like I don't like saying it, but we're being honest.
Yeah.
Let's go high B for now, and then we'll reflect. Paris Legion.
Oh boy. Down to the D, boys.
Need we say more? They're in the same boat as the LA Gorillas. They got 3-0 in their first match in the losing bracket, and they got sent packing. So bye-bye.
And they had no fan picks. They were the only team to not get picked for fan picks.
0%.
They were 0%.
Au revoir.
So I guess they didn't have the confidence going into it, I guess.
Oh, no. I mean, like, the fan picks, because they were doing it on the logos and shit, I accidentally gave London a higher rating than I would have because I thought it was the FaZe logo at first.
Oh, jeez.
But then I realized, wait, no, it's the rip-off Nightwing logo. I mean, the London Royal Ravens logo, TM.
But again, Paris is a good team. They just couldn't pull the hat out of the... they just couldn't pull it together. Yeah,
if you had asked me 2 weeks ago who was one of the better performing teams in the whole league right now, I would say Paris. But then they dropped.
They shit the bed.
We got Seattle. You know, they did well. They 3-1 Florida. They got Florida out of there. And then they got 3-1 by Chicago.
Yeah.
I'd put them in a C.
I would go... Oh, yeah, I was going to say a low B or a high C.
Yeah, I'd put them at C+. They're better than New York. They're better than Florida. But they weren't playing up to caliber with the skill sets that we were seeing from, like, Dallas or Chicago or, you know.
Yeah.
And then we got the Cinderella story.
Oh my God.
The one no one saw coming.
I don't think we'll ever see that again, you know?
I don't think we'll ever see that again. I don't think Toronto, I think that was the comeback that Toronto sports has been looking for so many years. And oh my God, nobody saw it.
No, that was just, everyone was so shocked. Like even the commentators live didn't really know how to react to that.
Nobody knew how to handle themselves with that, with how they were performing. It was like how when LA started sweeping people, they didn't know what to do. They were fucking shocked.
Yeah. They automatically have to go in the top tier just because of what they managed to accomplish at the end of the season.
Oh, absolutely. They're like...
Or the series, sorry.
They had an S tier performance for this bracket. No worries.
Three matches back to back and won all 3 matches. Like if that doesn't put anybody in your top picks, then I don't know what will.
Exactly.
They just kept going through and through and through. I
mean, like I like to make my jokes about Bance. You know, some of you may know that. I just think it's a silly name. You know, he's a fine player. It's just like he just has a silly name. So fuck Bance. But nonetheless, they played phenomenally. They took home, I believe, if I'm doing this correctly, they won.
50,000.
Fucking won. Sorry, they did better than FaZe. What am I doing? They won. They won $200,000.
50,000 each.
Well, my guess is probably like a little less, and then a collective amount probably goes to the org.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, they give a cut and stuff.
Yeah, so it's probably like 200K. Everybody gets like, instead of 50, everybody probably gets 40, and then 10 from everybody goes to the org, and then they can pay the coach. They can pay some internet bills.
Nobody saw that coming though.
Nobody saw that coming.
So incredible about it.
They did great. Yep. They walked home with $200,000. FaZe went home with $120,000, and Dallas went home with $80,000. Dallas actually came in third there.
Good for them.
Good for them. But honestly, that match when they went up against Chicago in stage 2.
Oh boy.
And they lost. Oh, that was such a nice thing to see.
Ex-teammates versus ex-teammates, you know?
Oh yeah. So we got in the S tier, we got Toronto Ultra, we got FaZe. A tier, we got LA Thieves, we got Minnesota Rocker. In the B tier, we got Optic Chicago with the Dallas Empire. And then C tier, we got Seattle Surge, New York Subliners, Florida Mutineers, I believe. That's C. Yeah, that's good. And then we got London, Gorillas, and Paris Legion racking up in the D because that's where they stayed for the whole weekend.
For the whole weekend. Stay down there, boys. I bet they'll make a comeback.
Paris will probably make a comeback. Paris will definitely make a comeback. LA, they had a good showing in the first stage and then they dropped off. So I never know what happens with the Gorillas there.
Yeah, they're a spotty team.
Yeah, I think London needs to make a roster change.
I think so too.
I think they should have made the roster change after the first major, but I think they thought it might be too soon and they could have a comeback. And
yeah, I think now that they've seen other teams make a change, I think they might follow suit.
Yeah, because it's not there anymore.
If they can manage to pick up a god tier rookie, then geez.
Oh.